Hello, welcome to my video. Please do like and subscribe if you want already. As you can see, if you've been following me for a while, I'm in the larger part of the studio, which is a lot chillier, and we are on a countdown. You know, it's like it's been a busy week, and what I want to share with you, and it's, you know, it's kind of part way through the week, so I'm going to be sharing some now, and then a couple of days I'm going to join some bits together to give you a bit more of the story. But what I wanted to share with you today is a little bit of background to and some of the logistics around the drawings that we're going to be sharing, because of course, as I've been talking to you throughout the year, our work is, both of us actually, although mostly obviously I'm talking about me, is about the local landscapes, but it's not about taking some photos and bringing them back to the studio and doing some paintings. It's much more about tapping into our experience of those places and of the sort of situations really and the settings. And so we do an awful lot of work out on location, as you've been seeing. Obviously my monthly Marking Seasons project. I've been doing concertinas with collage that have been worked on out on the locations. And also we do a lot of work on paper. Quite a bit of mine is reconfigured, so it's actually in sketchbooks. But I also have got quite a lot of work which hasn't been reconfigured, which is on paper, as has Hugh. So what we are going to start the process of is laying out the drawings and selecting the drawings that we've done on location to help us tell the story of the paintings. So as you can see in the background, little sneaky previews of some of my finished paintings going on just above me there. But that's not what I'm talking about today, so you'll just see those little snippets. But what we're going to do is I'm going to set out this room, because at the moment it's got tables and all sorts of things going on. I'm going to clear the floor so we can lay them out on the floor. Now, of course, it's going to go on the wall in the gallery, not on the floor, but we want to have a large space where we can get a grip on, without having to stick them all on the wall, layout and so on and so forth. So in a minute, you'll see me quickly sort of sorting out the studio, and then I'm going to share with you some of the thinking behind the drawings in terms of how we're going to display them. And it's, you know, we're on now, we've only got a month or so, 5 weeks actually, and there's an awful lot to do. And so this week we've been looking at this, we're looking at sketchbook layouts and how we present those in the gallery. The plan is that we work as the exhibition really with groups, so that we almost visualise that idea of the valley, the woodland and the moors, and we'll see how that goes. We have yet to put out our work together, the drawings together, so the plan is that we mix within each of those groups both of our work together, so that viewers to the exhibition don't just see finished paintings, but the process of the development of the paintings, and that idea which is so important to us of that connection with our experience, which is those landscapes in those different weathers, on those different days, in those different seasons, and how that then translates into the finished painting. Okay, so I said we were going to be putting them out on the floor, and I wasn't kidding, was I? Look at this. So we've come to a little bit of a sort of stumbling block, I should say. We've both of us put out not all of our drawings, but a selection of our drawings. So you can see over there are Hugh's and over here are all of mine. And we kind of need to know a bit more from the gallery about how we're going to be able to put these up. We've been talking about wires and bulldog clips and so on, but as you can probably tell, they're not all the same size. I have 3 sizes, Hugh has 2 sizes, so we might well need to know a little bit more. But the next stage for us now is, now we've got the kind of the woodlandy ones away from the moors and panoramic ones. We, at the moment, as you can see, they're both separate groups. So we're going to collect them up and then try and see if we can combine, for example, my woodland ones with Hugh's to make more of an interesting combined display, and the same then with the moors. Some progress is being made. We have decided to split into two groups. So we've got the moors, the panoramics, the edgelands in one group, and then the woodlands in the other. So we're now looking at the moors and panoramics and edgelands group, two groups, and this is one of them. And we've now mixed the drawings up. And although we're not exactly sure yet how all of them are going to be hung, we like the idea of hanging them in a more kind of organised way in lines. So this is how we have them now. So to end with, what I've now done is, instead of it being in lines and the drawings mixed, I've actually just got my drawings here now, because I think that one of the things that could be confusing for people otherwise is, if we're going to have these on the wall, it would be nice if people can relate our drawings to the paintings, which there is a strong link. And so it might be clearer for people if we have mine group together and Hugh's group together. And the other thing to just mention is that we're probably going to, if it's possible, because bearing in mind we've decided that lines is probably the way to go, so we kind of have to make sure we've got the right number of each one so they can be done in lines really. But assuming we can, the idea is that we have the moors and the panoramics at the top coming into the woodland to reflect the way the landscape lies in that way. And just to say that these are not what I was trying to do just now by ordering them like this. They're not actually ordered at all. They're just kind of put roughly in the groups, and I was just seeing if I had enough and how that would pan out when I tried to cover the floor with my drawings in the lines. And obviously there's a lot of rejiggling to do to make sure the right ones are next to each other, and that's not been done at all. So I don't think that this is going to be the final layout, because it isn't. It was just really another rendition really, to see whether or not it would work out. And I think broadly it will work out. Obviously I've got some pockets of holes at the bottom, and if you look at top right, there's some drawings there which I did on very poor quality paper. So if I was going to incorporate those, I'd need to somehow adhere them to better paper. So I just thought I'd do a close-up view of the three that I was talking about that were on poorer quality paper. So hopefully you can see, they were done during the pandemic. Well, it was all done during the pandemic, but in 2020. And as soon as I look at these, I'm taken right back to that panoramic view and being out on location there. And they are quite grungy and they are on thin paper, so we'll see, but they do capture something which I think is subsequently taken into the paintings, so we'll see whether or not they can be included. And necessarily, because these were done on location, obviously they've been battered a little bit by the elements, so they're not pristine, but what we're trying to do here is to show the process and how the studies and drawings on location are so influential to the subsequent paintings. We're never copying them. They're never just about, coming back into the studio with the drawings and then reenacting them in paint. That's not the way it kind of works really. It's really the studies and the drawings here are our connection with the experiences. And then we do much more in the way of studies in the studio, at least I do. And we go back and forth between the studies and the paintings. But hopefully you get a bit of a flavour here for what we're trying to do. It's kind of hot off the press. We're not sure yet how this is going to physically work in terms of the anchoring. So we have another meeting with the gallery this week to try and iron this out and see whether or not it will be feasible to do it in these lines and how the wires and clip systems would work. So there you have it. It's, definitely evolving, ongoing, but at least you can see what the sorts of things we're doing to develop the exhibition. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time, hopefully for another exciting edition of getting ready for the exhibition. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.